Okay, hopefully I can be heard. I'm really hoping that's the case. So for those in the future, just bear in mind, this is the first one, so there'll be a little bit of time to get people on board before I'm playing back to myself. That's so professional. There we go, shut up. So yeah, as of now, there will be a bit of time where we need to give people to attend to the stream. So before we do start, yeah, I'm nervous as heck. There's no one here at the moment, so I can say that's great. It's a fun bit of waiting around. So I think I'll give it until 5 past, and then I'll just carry on and just start giving you the updates, giving what needs to be discussed, and fingers crossed, we'll have a few people in to actually talk to. Otherwise, obviously, on the archive, you'll still get the update anyway. I'm going to hydrate like a clever person. Another couple of minutes before we start actually talking about what I'm here to talk about. So, make a brew, grab some snacks. I hopefully won't keep people too long, and I'm very mindful of the fact that I can't just go, oh, I need to stop, and I'll retake. I'm very, very aware that I need to get it right first time, so that's fun. Challenges. The thing where I'm just trying to remember have I turned off all distractions, and I think I have. I think we're golden. We're not going to get interrupted by things that we shouldn't be. So yeah, just another minute, and then we'll get into the meat, and I'll be able to sort of talk you through a lot of the stuff that I've been waiting to give an update for. But like I say, give it another minute, see what happens. I hate like the need to remember that I am a biological being, and so scratching is normal. It's fine. We're not robots. So just a few more seconds. Actually, no, it's 5 past now by my clock, so let's get into it. So first of all, probably mainly at this point for the people watching in the future, thank you very much for joining me for this. this is where I'm going to start to do a lot more of the update stuff, the uni vlog kind of stuff, and just the general self-promo stuff, to be honest, because I don't want to break the flow of the main videos. So I want to get that stuff done probably throughout, I guess, in a weird way. But the first thing I want to do is perhaps catch people up. Because last year, during the foundation year, I was doing the uni vlogs regularly, every week, just a short of what I've been doing, how I've been feeling with it, etc., etc. And then I realised that, it's not going to work for this year. My workload's obviously higher because it's the proper degree. There's so much stuff that I'm learning that condensing it into 60 seconds or less feels like an uphill struggle. I also don't want to take out weeks where I'm doing the main videos, because then I'm breaking the flow. If people are coming to watch, the reviews, analyses, that kind of stuff, they're not getting it. So I just need to have a different way of doing that. So this is what this is for. So first of all, this first semester that I barely talked about, we did a lot of skills practicing counselling, and I can't really go into detail on that because the stuff that people bring that's real. You've kind of got to do that in that setting. So I can't really go into detail, but I found myself growing in confidence and, dare I say, ability throughout that first semester. The second semester, we're not doing that kind of thing anymore, which is kind of sad, but needs must. It's obviously how the course is designed. That's totally fine. But yeah, I got through it. I found myself growing and changing and improving as a person. Ironically, the course I didn't have a module called Growing and Changing, but other people did, so that's weird that I've chosen that phrasing. But I, applied myself, same as last year. This isn't something that counts for your final degree mark. So this is about getting people up to speed at a level that we're all, on the same place to start where it actually counts in level 5 and 6. And approaching it that way saves burnout. It's what saved me last year, it's what's saving me this year, as well as the various supports I've got through stuff available to me thanks to disabled student support, both from financial side and the uni. But yeah, I've just been applying it as much as I need to, and I think that's the best way to do it. My first semester I got a 75, a 72 and a 58. Now that did stick out to me. A 58 is a massive difference. But I spoke to the marker, I've got an understanding of it, and it was a topic that, excuse me, sorry, throat's going. That's where editing would be useful. But I got those marks, I spoke to the marker and got an understanding, because what I've tried to do is throw everything that I wanted to. It was a topic I enjoyed. So I'm like, I found this about it, I found this bit of research, and I was trying to throw too much into 1,500 words. If you're putting a lot of studies in, a lot of the theory in, you've not got the space to fully expand upon it and explore it. So it becomes quite difficult to get the word count and the amount of information across. So that's one thing I struggled with. I don't know how the other two worked out that way, but again, that was something that was really engaging for me. It was a topic I chose. Unsurprisingly, the 72 was the counselling one, because that's a personal development essay. It's very much your own experience, because during that first semester, and really, ideally, you should carry it on throughout the entire course, but we were required to do a journal at least once a week to chart how we've grown. We were asked to choose a reflexive model. I chose the Rolf et al. From 2001 version because there's 3 stages. It's very straightforward. Some people I know like more structure, so they may have chosen a 4, 5, 6, 7 stage method. But for me, I like the simplicity. It boils down to 3 questions. What happened? So what? Or what's the implication? What does that mean for you? And now what? How do you move forward with this awareness that this is something that came up for you and brought certain feelings out? How do you integrate that into becoming a better practitioner? And yeah, 72 apparently for this level is outstanding. I took that very positive feedback. And yeah, it hasn't meant that the 58 doesn't matter, and conversely, the 58 hasn't overshadowed the other 2. I just know that I need to be more precise, which is something that 40 years of life hasn't taught me yet, so fingers crossed. But yeah, it's a way to move forward. It's meaning that in general I'm on the right track, and that's good. So we've started the second semester. We've been, just over a month into it now, and yeah, I don't think I engaged early on as much as I did in the first semester because we had the shadow of outstanding marks still. We were still waiting for a couple of the marks to come back, and it was quite, unsettling for a lot of people. I think a lot of people felt the weight lift when the marks were released, and once they, been able to find explanations as to why they got the marks they did, if they wanted that clarification. But for me, yeah, that weight off did make a difference. But there's still issues. There's some things that don't work for me when I'm on campus, and some things about, how trying to integrate my uni workflow into this workflow and other workflows that I've got, to look at and deal with. It's hard, especially for someone with disabilities that affect my ability to focus, my ability to sort my energy levels out, that kind of stuff. It's quite a difficult challenge. So yeah, it's one of those that I've just got to learn how to get a system. But recently, this last week, I've kind of had a slow progression to practice in public speaking live. Because I've been doing the videos and all that kind of stuff for years. I've done gigging, which is different because you're playing a song, you can hide behind the music. But literally being out there and presenting, giving a talk or whatever it may be, is a different kind of experience entirely. So on Wednesday morning, we were given a short presentation to do. Just during the lesson, we had about an hour to prepare it. And so it wasn't going to be amazing, but it was about happiness interventions. I chose mindfulness because if you look back on my channel, I've done mindfulness-based cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. So it's an area I knew, and like with the bigger presentation that I'll talk about in a bit, I did it on my own. I have an issue with control, basically. If I do something wrong, I don't want to moan, or I don't want someone moaning at me, and vice versa. If someone else does something wrong, I don't want to come at them. So the way I do this is I work on my own. Any mistakes are mine, I own them. Any issues, I need to figure out what went wrong. I don't need to ask someone else. Also, I can work at my own pace. If I don't feel like doing something on a particular day, but someone's waiting for me to finish a task, I will push through and hurt myself to do it if I've made that commitment. I'm terrible. But if I'm only making that commitment to myself, I can be a lot more flexible. That comes with its downsides, not going to lie, but it's a way that I can work, that works for me. So I did that and I had fun with it. I was the only person who actually stood up at the front of the class and used the clicker. It was great. I really did enjoy that. But that was a nice little soft bit of practice for not yesterday. I forgot what day I'm on. For Thursday, where we had the main presentation as a mock assessment for one of the modules. So everyone has had to do this, and again, that was group work initially, but I chose to do it on my own. I did ask if that was something I could do, and I did get clearance for it. I do have stuff in my inclusion stuff to say I might struggle with group work and presentations, so it's fine. But we had that like about 3 weeks ago, the brief, and I just worked on it, slowly over time. I built it together. And then when it came to the presentations, a lot of people were kind of putting a lot of information in. What I said about the stuff that I struggled with last semester? People were trying to go, look, I've done the research, I know what I'm talking about. But the brief required us to pretend we were in a school setting as educational inclusion officers, I guess you'd say. And we've got a particular child who is struggling because of being moved across the country, that kind of thing. So it's looking at what issues might she be facing and how can we help her to get back into school life. A lot of people, like I say, I think not misread the brief, but I think focused on the make sure you've got the information out part of the brief. And I was kind of feeling dread when I saw a lot of this information, but that said, they got the information out there and they were okay. And then it came to me to present on my own. And I enjoyed it. I turned it into a performance because that's how I need to work. I can't just go out and perform as me. It's taken a lot to get out of the habit of trying to treat the counselling skills as a role, because you shouldn't do that either. You should be your authentic self. But I'm still keeping this protection, I guess you'd say, in place, so that I can come forward and present this and it doesn't feel like a failing on me if it doesn't go well. All these weird little protections I've had over years coming to the fore. But I really did enjoy it, and I started it off with a bit of group inclusion. I used, strangely enough, psychological techniques on psychology students. Because my first slide, it introduced, mock advisory brief, my name come up, but then I asked the crowd on the count of 3, or after a countdown from 3 to 1, to blow at the screen. I did reassure them it wasn't a weird test, I wasn't doing anything weird, I wasn't filming them, but if they could interact, that'd be great. So I got everyone to blow at the screen, and I put an animation in of the thing falling over to then enter into the slideshow. But that's what I needed to do. I needed to make it fun for me. And I did have fun with it. Afterwards, someone told me it felt like, an animated lecturer. It was very much that I was trying to impart the information, but also not be too heavy-handed, not bore people. I'm sure we've all encountered, educators who are boring, and we just want to tell them to get on with it, and they waffle, I say as I'm doing that. But I tried to make it concise. I had bullet points. It wasn't just the whole of the text that I was going to say. It was bullet points to guide me, and then I could just go forward and enjoy it. So I really got a buzz out of that, and again, that was kind of practice for this. I mean, I don't have a fancy slideshow, you'll be sorry to hear, for this, but still, I'm getting used to that idea of performing, without script, without the ability to edit, and I'll get better over time, hopefully. But that's kind of where I'm at anyway with the university stuff. It's been a good start to the semester. I've got grades that reflect the effort that I've put in. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with some of the social connections I've made. I've never really talked about that even last year, but yeah, I've really enjoyed the start of this year, as much as there's been things that haven't been ideal, because in case people haven't seen some of the updates, my father died on the 21st of October last year. Don't worry, it's fine. I'm processing it. It's all good. But that meant that I wasn't attending sometimes. I asked for extra time for certain projects or for certain assessments, and there was a lot of kindness and consideration and leeway given, because it's a thing that can happen to anyone. As awful as it sounds in a way, we are designed to outlive our parents. And the fact is, he was 78, not a bad age. I know, everyone's like, there's that whole thing of what's a good age? But 78 is a good amount of years on this earth. And he was in a place, he was well looked after. He was happy as much as possible. And yeah, it seems relatively peaceful from what we've found. So I'm fine with it. I have some commemorative jewellery that, incorporates the ashes. And it's fine. But like I say, that impacted my education a little bit. And yeah, it was hard sometimes. But now there's a few of us who have started the Dead Dads Club, because dark humour is how we cope in this country. And that's really helped, that social connection. So yeah, as much as I've enjoyed the educational side, the social connection matters as well. My well-being has felt supported. And then the other side of stuff, where finally, and unfortunately I did this after he passed, and maybe that was the push in my brain, but I finally released a song on Spotify. And, well, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, on Apple/iTunes, and right here on YouTube Music. And, yeah, I am still terrified of the concept. But I, wanted to release, a song a month or something like that, and then I realised I'm doing a degree. There's a lot of work involved. I can't keep to that. So I'm just releasing stuff as and when. My first single is already out there. I will post a link in the chat at some point shortly so that you can go and have a look at my artist page and laugh. But that first one is an original song. I thought that's the best way to start. I think the next one's going to be a cover I've gone over in my head a number of different ones I want to release, but the one I think I've chosen means something to me. I've done a video on related. I don't want to spoil everything here. I want it to be a nice surprise when it drops. But it is something that I've enjoyed making, and I just need to clear the space on my hard drive. I'm not recording new stuff, or I shouldn't record new stuff until I've got rid of some of the old stuff. But yeah, it's, there's a lot of this stuff that's just this drive in me. Now, I am fully aware that as much as I don't have a formal diagnosis, I am neurospicy, neurodivergent, whatever you want to call me. And hopefully later this year I'll have my assessment and know for definite. But a lot of people have said, trust me, you don't need the assessment. I don't know how to take that. But I do run the risk of this neurodivergent burnout that you've probably heard a lot of in recent times. I know it's become a lot more known and prevalent. And I always feel I'm at risk. I always feel like I'm on the edge of having a moment of burnout. It's just this spectre that hangs over me. But if I don't keep going, if I don't have this drive, if I don't push myself to succeed, I don't know. I'm just going to stop. I think that's it. I'm like a shark. I need to keep swimming to keep oxygenating the blood. So maybe that's something I need to look at. Maybe that's the next thing to work on. But I do definitely think that my desire to succeed, my desire to do really well, should be praised. I'm just bringing up the link now, by the way, so I can pop it into chat, and then I'm not going to forget about it. So there is my Spotify page. Please, like I say, go and have a look, go and laugh. I have set chat replay to be on, so if you're watching archive, it should be on the right-hand side, of the screen below, and you can click the link. But yeah, it's one of those, I'm doing a lot. I know I'm doing a lot. There's a lot of stuff in life as well that I can't really get into, but there's a lot of real-world stuff that might put extra pressures on me, and I know I've got to be aware of this. I've got to be careful. But for now, I'm keeping this motivation going. I'm trying to do stuff, like pushing myself into new areas, making myself uncomfortable. The only way we grow is to get outside our comfort zones. The only way we improve is through change. Change is hard. Grief isn't just death. Grief is any change, technically. Anything that you've left something behind. But if I'm leaving behind the struggling to get by, not feeling motivated, for maybe feeling a bit stressed, but feeling rewarded, I'm happy with that change. So, is there anything else I've really got to cover? Let's think. You're up to date on that stuff. Oh yeah, the plugs. Let's do the plugs. So we've done the Spotify, and then we'll kind of wrap it. I think we've got not high turnout, which is fine. It's an inaugural stream. I didn't super push it for ages. It's totally fine. So I'll probably wrap it up just after these moments of self-publicity. So like I say, we have the Spotify link. We've always got in the description links to the Patreon. The tiers are all the same. It just depends on how generous you want to be. And I'm going to be able to start offering more and fulfilling more of the promises I've kind of already made. There's always a PayPal link down there if you want to give me money directly. There's a Facebook and Twitter. I refuse to call it X. There's all those kind of links down there. There's a Buy Me a Coffee link as well, because I signed up for that once. Sorry, I'm just going to take more liquid because my throat's giving up already. But yeah, so I've got the Buy Me a Coffee link and all that stuff down there normally. There's even a Bitcoin link if people want to send me Bitcoin. Why not? I still have an active wallet. Let's go, early 2000s. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. There's my other channel as well, because obviously this is on the main channel, but don't forget the other channel, which is now under D. Fitzpatrick, to merge with the music side. I'm hoping to finally have the little music notation next to my name at some point soon. But yeah, so I'll get all that stuff sorted. There'll be more releases. I'm hoping to do an original and then a cover, kind of how I did in the 37 for 37. If you don't know what that is, look on my other channel. There's 37 songs I did over the course of a year when I turned 37. It was a weird project. This is very much who I am. I do weird projects. So yeah, got Patreon, got my other channel, got Spotify. come back for this, every month, please. Again, I know it's a low turnout. I keep saying it, but it's a fact. But I'm okay with that. It's fine. It'll grow, hopefully. I mean, I'm still under 1,000 subs in total. It's fine. But hopefully, yeah, we can grow this. I can do a lot more. Maybe start doing some, fun stuff like bring the guitar in, play, maybe work on some songs, workshop some ideas. Who knows? But the next one will annoyingly be on my birthday. I didn't plan this ahead. I didn't think about it because I don't like to work on my birthday. So that's how committed I am. I'm working on my birthday for the first time in many, many years. So Saturday, the 6th of April, once again at 4 p.m. GMT, UTC. I use them interchangeably, although I think the clocks go forward at the end of March. So I'm not sure how that works with UTC. I will double check and make sure that the posts in all the relevant places are correct. But yeah, I think that is it for now. So until next time, it feels weird saying it live and not, being able to edit it down later, but hey ho. But yeah, until next time, as always, thank you for watching, whether it's, live or in the future, and take care.